Ah! Oh my God. I've never been so satisfied and so ramped up from the fights. Bets went terribly. Card went great. Oh, good job we're starting at flipping a pound, boys. We only lost out on a pound. We only lost out on £1. We're going to finance the £2 next week that we flipped to £4. We're doing it, boys. We're still getting to the £500,000. I'm not going to start with... I'll tell you what I'm going to start with. I'm going to start with the bets because if you didn't stay up and watch this live, I know what we all do. We wake up, we look at our bets, see if they won. If they win, we go, let's see what's going on. We see bets haven't won, we're like, oh, okay. Okay. Oh, tough night if you're a Brit. Tough night if you're a Brit fan. If you're British, we're as bad as the Canadians now. We are as shit as the Canadians. Do you realise that's what you've done, Arnold Allen? Paddy Pimlet? You've made us look as bad as Canadians. Right. Oh, sausage. Oh, well, let's start by saying 2 fights got pulled off. One fight, Cameron Smotherman fainted after the weigh-ins, smashed teeth first. I'm going to count that as a win because I had him to lose. So if he'd made it off them stairs, that would have been his brain. Pop, pop, teeth down. Cameron Smotherman was out. Second fight that got pulled, cancelled last second, was Michael Johnson. Reason being, so much money got bet on him in the last minute that the betting things, the UFC and the FBI all spoke again, and they just went, nope, pull the fight. We're not risking it. We're not going to argue with you. And so they fucking just pulled the fight. But Michael Johnson would have won by the sounds of it if it's big money going on him. So that's another win that we're going to count. Come on, man. I need to count some wins. Right. Tell you what. We'll go with the worst. We'll go with the big risk bets. So the big risk bets, there was 5 fights. Only Krylov ended up coming through for that. Song, Lewis, Allen, Rose. We'll go over the fights in a sec. Now the underdogs that could. I had Fujit, Michael Johnson, Arnold Allen and Derek Lewis. Questionable with Arnold Allen, but all 4 of them failed. The 3 underdogs on this card that came through for people, which in captain hindsight, why didn't someone message me and say pick these? Because they're all seasoned. They're seasoned veterans, and I just thought they were too seasoned. Got no tolerance for spice. And these are all the spicy veterans. Alex Perez, Nikita Krylov, Justin Gaethje. They're your 3 underdogs that come in. Absolute outrageous that I chose Michael Johnson, Arnold Allen. Nah, that's not outrageous. Arnold Allen, Derek Lewis, Michael Johnson. It just didn't happen. It is what it is. Your underdogs for the card were Alex Perez, Nikita Krylov and Justin Gaethje. But Alex Perez leads us on to the favourites that should. That was the bet that I was classing as a guaranteed. But I did take a risk in Charles Johnson, but I didn't think it was a risk. The favourites that come in, they all came in. Josh Hockett, Ateba Gutierrez, Umar Nurmagomedov, and I did add on Natalia Silva, but I left off Natalia Silva and Umar because I thought they were too risky for how low they are. Won't really add anything on, but they were locks. But Charles Johnson, man. Watching that fight, everything went... I felt nauseous, like I was on a ride. Everything went slow motion. I just watched all my bets go crashing down. Oh, We go again, boys. It was only £1 that we didn't flip this week. We have 19 more times to do it. Actually, next 11 weekends, we have 10 weekends of UFC. They're only taking Valentine's weekend off. They are literally gifting you the one weekend to see your missus, treat her right, and then every other weekend you have UFC. So yeah, gay little Valentine's weekend. We got no UFC, but for the next 10 weeks we got UFC. 10, 11 weekends, we got 10 UFC nights. They're making the whole roster fight this year. They're going to make them all fight early on now. And then they'll have the White House picks or the great summer cards. This is the time where the whole roster's going to fight. Whole roster will fight. And we're going to see some wicked fights. Because this card was crazy. I'm trying so hard not to say fucking and cunt. So if you're in an office, keep that bit quiet. I'm trying, but this card has me raging. So there might be a lot of fuckings and a lot of cunts. Because there wasn't a lot of warm bets. Right. Now, this changed everything. They changed the finish. All finishes, I think, now will be 25k. Every fight. Every fight card, anyone finishes a fight, 25k. Finally. They said they did this in secret, but it's better if it's not secret, because then we all know. We're all like, yes, they did it for the money. Other performance of the night bonuses are 100k now. Sweet. That's good. That's serious money. Well, if you're only on 12 grand a fight. Woohoo! Oh, and then the last funny thing. The funniest thing, Bruce Buffer, first fight, first announcement, announces the wrong bloke for the wrong bloke. He announced Adam Fugit as Ty Miller and Ty Miller as Adam Fugit. And it was like, damn, man. People are going senile at the UFC now. Look at that bit sticking in. Let's tuck that in. Let's get it tucked in. Right, let's start. I am going to start with saying there's 13 fights. 2 fights got cancelled last minute. Both of which seemed like I should win. One got cancelled because one guy fainted. The guy who faints lost. He got knocked out by the floor before he even made it to the cage. There we go. That's a win for me. And Michael Johnson. So much money put on him last second that they believed it's a betting scandal if he wins. That's how good I was with that pick. And I got 5 wrong and then 6 right. So if you count the 2 cancelled fights and I get to have 8 right, cool. 5 wrong, if not 6 right, 5 wrong. I took some risks with these picks though, so I'm not happy with that, but we move on. We start off, better to get the losses early and go on a big run streak after this. But right, let's get into it. Let's review the actual fights. First fight, Adam Fugit and Ty Miller. I was a bit wrong on this one, and I realised that as I was watching it live, because Fugit was just slow. I thought the crafty veteran, which he had better, smarter kicks and sometimes movement, but he had no power, no power and no speed. He's getting cut. He has to get cut. That's not UFC worthy. And Ty Miller's also not barely UFC worthy, but great 1-2s, just peppered him up with his hands, beat him up. It was crazy because it was like he beat him up and they could have finished it, but it just got dragged into the later ones. How was this? He went for a spinning elbow, Fugit, right near the end, after just getting peppered up. They were exchanging, but he just got peppered up the whole time. Spinning elbow. Then gets dropped. Goes for the spinning elbow, dropped. Dropped twice. TKO'd with just non-stop 1-2s. Last second TKO. like in the last second, because he went for the spinning elbow because it's the very end of the fight. He's thinking, yeah, I'll be all right, and he just gets battered. It gets done for the last second. Ah, expected. I picked him, Fujit, to be a veteran win, massive underdog. I just wanted that money earlier, but big failure. It is what it is, man. Next one, we have Josh Hockett versus Denzel Freeman. What they calling him? Whale Sonnen. Whale Sonnen. That's what they're calling him. Whale Sonnen, because he is cringe, man. After the fight, just doing that cringe, rehearsed wrestling speech. I don't think he'd be able to talk if someone tried to get him on the spot, but it'll entertain the American dorks. But yeah, he just laid a beat down, but a funny beat down. Oh my god, man. He just, let me check this a sec, what I had for the notes. He's beating him down in Turtle. Yes, he's just beating him in Turtle. Denzel Freeman got took down earlier with a freestyle wrestling. He's a Greco-Roman wrestler, which is upper body versus lower body. He gets taken down lower body wrestling, but sits in Turtle for a long time. But Hockett's just beating him up from Turtle. Hockett's just keeping him held in Turtle. But Hockett was being smart. He's essentially just waiting, putting enough pressure on him, enough of a little beat down until he chooses to put his arse or his back to the mat. And every time he did choose, he got a little bit more beat up and managed to turn back to Turtle again. And then they'd get back up. They stood back up. I remember Hockett did some crazy cartwheel as a defense to being taken down. So that's crazy. And then as he beat him up on one of the final beatdowns, because it was just going from being beat up, stood up to beat up in Turtle. He beat him up in Turtle and spanked him. And they got stood up again, and he's just laying a little beat down, kicked him in the body. Freeman's quit. Freeman's just proper quit. Kicked him in the body, and then gave him the finger. Just gave him the finger. Freeman's all like he's remembering beatdowns from childhood and stuff like that. He was not looking happy. No reason to end the fight other than Denzel getting beat up. But Hockett gave him the burn and walked away, and the ref looked at him just like, ref, stop it. And the ref stopped it. There wasn't actually action happening to stop it or call it off. He just felt that sorry for him. He's seen a 265-pound alpha black male mustache look at him for probably the first time in his life he's ever felt vulnerable and be like, Moles, you gotta get me out of here, man. And they stopped the fight. Excellent fight. Great to watch for heavyweights. Don't think they stand much chance against the better ones. Because, I mean, Hockett called out Waldo Cortez after this, and I think Waldo just absolutely pepper him up. If he can keep it standing, but his hands are so much better. So much better than Hockett's. I think it's a dangerous fight for him too early on, that is. Too early on. But yes, that was that fight. Oh, look, so fucking cringe. Cringe, man. That's so funny, though, to give someone the burn and make them quit. And they just have to drop out. Now, that was a good one for the win. It's one of the lot wins. I was like, right, we're off. We're off to the races. Next fight's Charles Johnson. Oh, come on. This one I thought was a lock. Let's go, boys. This was the beginning of an ultimate downfall. I couldn't take this. I could not take this. Another first round madness. Just complete first round madness. This one, again, late stoppage, but somehow an early stoppage. When he stopped it, it was because it wasn't needing to be stopped when they stopped it. Charles Johnson started shooting a takedown at the end. And he was that beat up. It was that obvious that it should have been stopped because he couldn't take him down. And Alex Perez was running off to the cage. Jumps up the cage, doesn't know Charles Johnson's behind him. Still like this. And shooting a takedown on him, grabbing his legs on the cage. And still couldn't finish the takedown. That's how beat up he was. So it looked like there's no reason to stop this if you've been letting him get beat up the whole round. But there was definitely reason to stop it because his brain wasn't functioning properly. He couldn't shoot a takedown on someone without them knowing from behind whilst they were jumped up a cage. That was so funny to watch. And I'm glad it happened because I was in utter pain watching this. Watching a lock pick go is... I can't do this. I can't do this. If I keep doing this for 11 weeks, this might be why I watch my hair go grey. I might watch my hairline lose. Right, we're watching. Check. It's getting... That's what it looks like at the beginning of these 11 weeks. Because I shouldn't be picking lock fights and they lose. That shouldn't happen. This was a painful fight, but oh my God, man, he was getting beat up all over the place. Alex Perez just literally beating him up. Charles Johnson is ridiculously trying to Now, here's something you need to know. If you're running off around the cage, yeah, when you run around the cage, if you're arm's distance from it, you should get closer and closer to the centre so that after you've finished running off, you're not going to get beat up at the cage still. If you run off and then lay into the cage after you finish running off, and they've been swarming you anyway, you're exactly where they wanted you to be. You just ran off a bit first. And that's what Charles Johnson kept doing. He kept running off, getting away sideways, and then turning around, leaning up too long, and just getting peppered again. And then falling over, getting dropped, getting up, getting peppered again. You need to run to the centre. Collect yourself to the centre. Spin outwards, closer and closer to the centre. Dismiss that alarm. Closer and closer to the centre. Turn around. Jab. You are tall and long. Run into the centre. Keep him away. He was running, staying close to the cage, being like, oh, man. Oh! Oh, he's got the worst haircut ever. He's got, literally, his hairline goes all the way to the back. And then he has long hair from here onwards. Just the back of his head. Why I picked someone like that? Never happening again. Not trusting anyone who looks like that ever again. He's in the bad books. Outrageous. Yeah, Alex Perez won. Great underdog there. Great underdog win by Alex Perez. Everyone doubted him, I think. Great flyweight fight. On to the next one. And I got this one wrong as well. Modestas Bukauskas and Nikita Krylov. The excellent top of the bracket mid light heavyweights. Nobody's going to out-mid these two. And they had a crazy fight. By crazy, I mean it was two veterans peppering each other up for 3 rounds, where you look and you think, oh, is he going to knock him out? No, he's got an okay mid-chin and his punches and kicks just don't seem to have a sting to them. That's what it looked like. Right up until the last seconds. I believe this. Let me see what I wrote on this one. Let me see what I've got down. Oh my God. Right, so in my notes, I class this as just I'm not surprised that this was the first decision. Oh my God, ultimate mid battle. Both get finished by fighters higher up in the roster, but they will be great gatekeepers. Oh my God. Mad spinning head kick by Modestus, then 1-2 by Krylov returns and knocks him down and knocks him flat out in the final seconds. So I was writing how I'm not surprised this went to a decision. Then all of a sudden, just fucking, what? Let's go for a spinning back fist. This is going to come unstuck because everyone thinks to throw a spinning back fist, which we'll talk about later in Paddy's fight. Throw the spinning back fist and just get peppered up. I think he would try to argue that he didn't go out, but he literally, as he went forward after the 1-2s, gets peppered up again and falls flat first, eating the ground, looking like Cameron Smotherman after a weight cut. It is what it is, man. He's out of here. Next fight. Arteba Gautier versus Andrea Puloyev or whatever the Russian's name was. I'm not even going to go into this too much. I absolutely think Arteba Gautier's crazy scary, and he should have knocked him out on that first knockdown. Fight starts, bang, hits him with nuclear power, sits him down into the cage, and someone, and I don't like Jim's doing this to people, someone's told him to start being preserved and contained in himself. Don't rush in, Atiba. Wait, because if someone sees you rush in, you might blow all your load and da-da-da. And he's listened, and he did. He looked composed, and he won a decision. Think how many people had him as a KO bet, because the only way to make money off him was even like that. Anyone who did a decision, Jesus Christ, super brain. So this fight just took the piss in the end, because I felt like I watched him just sit and watch the guy get up. Then could have finished him. Could have just ran in and just nuclear bombed that head, because his head was shocked at first. But instead it felt like, right, I'm going to prove how composed I am. And it went for 3 rounds of Pulayev just surviving, getting little bits off, and his nuclear bombs catching him but just never doing enough. Watched the first minute of the fight, but then it's the same thing for the rest of it. So it's a decision. This was the first decision of the card. Piss take. Absolute piss take. Piss take. Oh, but yeah, it was good seeing an absolute big black giant go against some crazy Russian dude that was willing to fight him. I only just realised that Arteba Gautier is 23 as well. Loads of years to be crazy good. Loads of years. He's going to be a problem. Hopefully that stock drop from this fight means that he gets to fight more bums for a little bit longer, because that will play in his favour. That will definitely play into his favour. So while it's a stock drop, now I think it's going to be stock rise in the long run for him. But yeah, easy 1.10. He was a lock. Next one, Umar Nurmagomedov and Devizan Figueiredo. If you are a grappler and you want to learn how to throw kicks the highest level in MMA whilst maintaining being a great grappler, watch Umar Nurmagomedov. This guy might be the greatest kicking grappler I've ever seen. Anyone who wants to study it, this is who you should study. I'm going to say the craziest thing that goes along with it. His wrestling, through the roof. His kicking, through the roof. What is wrong with his hands? He has got no hands. I need to check my notes because I know I've seen a picture of him. I know I've seen a free frame where he hit him with a punch and both his feet came off the ground. So the punch hit him and both his feet raised off the ground. I was thinking, how is this guy so bad at punching and the best kicker? Possibly one of the best kickers in there. Easily the best kicking grappler, because obviously grapplers end up spending more time on grappling. You don't expect them to be the best kickers. If you want to study MMA and how to add in kicks to your grappling and add in your grappling to your kicks, watch Umar Nurmagomedov. Crazy good. Crazy good. It was just watching his feet bounce, his hips change. You can start telling which kicks are going to come up. Watch him. Watch his toes. Watch his knees. Watch his hips. Just during a fight. It is so good. He can throw all the kicks as well. He's going to have problems where he's going to start breaking his legs sooner or later, though. Throwing kicks like that, man, you're going to have to end up having times off. Because these kicks are just they're hitting other people who are made of steel. Right. I just think, the size difference was crazy between them. Figgy had a chance on top. Zero pinning ability to take advantage of it. These elite jiu-jitsu fighters, it's almost worse to be elite at jiu-jitsu now. Because these Brazilians who are so good at jiu-jitsu, their subconscious doesn't mind letting their back hit the floor. The only people who stand a chance with these Nurmagomedovs are the Topuris and Merabs, because when they defensively grapple, they never choose to go to their back anyway. They're scrambling hard. They're making it dogfights, pulling out of guillotines and standing and kickouts and wrestling back. As soon as these elite jiu-jitsu guys, they choose to lay to their back. These Russians, man, they know how to beat that. You can't choose to lay to your back. Hockett did it to Denzel Freeman earlier in the fights. You just cannot be a good grappler and choose to do jiu-jitsu in an MMA fight, because everyone's trained to beat that now. At least the good people, I think. I think two jiu-jitsu people, it's cool to watch them fight, and someone fights from their guard, peppering punches and throwing arm bars and that. These Russians, man, they're not letting... None of you are ever hitting anything. No jiu-jitsu guys ever hit anything on them. You'll think how bad it looks. Islam Charles. Islam with any of them. Nurmagomedov with Figueiredo. It's just the same thing. You can't pin them down, even when you get top position on them. They're so good at scrambling and getting up. That's not good. If you're going to be good at jiu-jitsu, make sure you have ridiculous pinning ability as well. You need to be able to pin the other guy and beat them up afterwards. Oh. So I think he had some moments with the punches and that, but just a decision. I think he had a few moments. Never going to win that. He even looked like he knew he was never going to win that. He just turned around to everyone afterwards like, come on, guys. I did okay, didn't I? Annoying fight, man. Annoying fight. These two decisions that were locks to win. This is why I didn't point to say to lock them in with KOs, because sometimes locks can't be trusted. They can be trusted to win, but just by decision only. And that set me up to be pretty tired after them two. But next fight, Arnold Allen and Jean Silva. This is absolute annoyance. Annoyance, because I personally think Arnold Allen won the fight. I think he won 4 minutes of every round, but he lost the last minutes of each round. And I think that's what gave away the fight. Just losing the last minutes. It shouldn't go down as that, man. But it felt like instantly, first round, you could see that Arnold Allen's better. You could see that Arnold Allen's just looking way better, more seasoned. He just looked higher up the rankings all round. Movement, punches, entries, defense, all looked good. But then I would have said he won the whole first round up until like last 10 seconds. I did notice John Silver was John Jones overhook and jacking, like overhooking over and jacking Arnold Allen's elbows up. So I think he was intending to tire out Arnold Allen and put it on him at the end of rounds to steal the rounds and then put more on him at the end of the fight. I think he thought, I'm going to tire him out a bit and then dog him. So I think he just tried to overhook, jack them arms, make him tired quick, and then beat him up later on. The funniest things with these is the way the rounds ended. This fight was so funny. So funny. Just non-stop beatings back and forth, to be honest. Non-stop beatings back and forth. But at the end of the first round, Arnold Allen tries to spud him, and Jones Silva don't spud with him, so he pushes him. And that's so funny. It was just so funny, the push and that. And then, end of the second round. What happened at the end of the second round? At the end of the second round, they pushed him down. So the second round ends, I think, pushed him down on the floor and just walked away. Didn't look to spud him that time. So we've had the first round end. He's gone to spud him. Instead, pushed him away because Gene Silver won't spud him. The round's ending. He knows the round's ending. He's pushed him down onto the floor. Walked away without spudding Gene Silver. Now, oh my God, let's get to the end of the third round. Arnold's just absolutely whacked for energy. And he's almost slumped forward. Like, just leaning forward. Like this. He's that tired. He looked exhausted for the third round. And then John Silver's just whacking him, tagging him up. It lands in turtle. John Silver, instead of beating him up, stands on top of him and rides him like a surfboard for a second and then jumps in the air and does a frog splat. I know Arnold Allen's going to be pissed about that. That level of disrespect. And then for some reason, John Silver turns around and does this, hey, safe. I'm thinking, Arnold, man, the guy just stood on you and rode you like a surfboard. What are you... This is... Paul Daly would smack this guy after the fight for that. I think you should have. I think Arnold Allen should have smacked him after the fight. I think he should have been raging. Gone, you know what, that's so disrespectful. I don't think he should have smacked him after the fight. Let's keep the sport integrity intact. But he should have, like, squared up to him and been like, you disrespectful. Anyone working, bleep him, bleep him, bleep, 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 bleep. The man just stood on you and rode you like a surfboard. This is outrageous. Outrageous. Watching a British fighter go down like that and an underdog pick go down like that. Because as I said, I think he won 3 to 4 minutes of every round. Just when he lost, he just got battered. It's like he's amazing, but he can't finish fights. Sad, man. Sad. Oh well. John Silver's a weird one as well anyway, man. Proper weird guy. And I can't wait to see it. I know people love him off, but I can't wait to see him get battered by the higher level. I think John Silver's a lock to get battered by whoever he versus in the top 5. So hopefully he gets put up pretty high up in the rankings next. he's losing. I think he can knock out Sterling, maybe. But he's losing to Volks. He's already lost to Diego. Evloev losing. Lerone Murphy. That could be a good fight. We sent in the white British man, Arnold Allen, but we've got our power black man in Lerone Murphy. Verse him, Gene Silver, and he will knock you out. Failed us, Arnold Allen. Making us all look weak, man. But I'm going to let you off because Bark If You're Gay is so funny. So funny. That is so funny, but it's also not funny now because you didn't win the fight. So who's gayer? The guy who says bark if you're gay and loses? You're gayer. You lost the fight. I lost my train of thought then. Needed this. On to the next fight. Now this is where the boredom was really starting to set in. Natalia Silva, Rose Namajunas. I ain't gonna lie, barely watched it. I think I wrote something like, who wins out of a pillar and a blanket? Or who wins out of a pillar and a beanbag? It's gonna take forever to see what would rip a beanbag apart or a pillar apart. It's going to take like 10,000 hits until the pillar or the beanbag fall apart. And that's what it feels like watching some of these women fights. Great fights, technicality, you can watch it, yeah? But something needs to change in women's MMA where they become vicious. We like the vicious stuff, man. When they're vicious females, it's great. Boring fight, Natalia Silva, again, won because she had better grappling. They're both striking away, but just better grappler. And really, that's why she won. Oh, that fight just wore me out. Not much to say on that. Natalia Silva, block 1.25, comes in, just edges out another woman by being a bit better, stronger, better grappler. A little bit better striking. Rose doesn't look healthy anymore. Rose's face and that looked strange as I was watching her. It just, something looked wrong, man. The shine and everything, the shine and spark is completely gone inside of her. Her face looks like, I weren't really into them crisps, but them crisps that they're the alien heads. And the bones and that, they just look strange now. And maybe it's not good for a woman of that sort of stature, or maybe her nutrition's not the greatest throughout her life, and she just looks beat up from this life of fighting now. I'd honestly just say retire. Can't go on forever being a woman, just getting beat up. Don't want to see that. But yeah, who knows? Ho-ho! Maybe Pat Barry's the Leonardo DiCaprio of the world. Right, Rose, you're off. Next 17-year-old in the gym's coming in. Ugh, what a weirdo, Pat Barry. What an absolute weirdo. Absolutely took the spark out of this woman you have. And on to the next fight. Two Black Beasts, 88. We've got Big Blob Waldo Acosta versus even bigger blob Derek Lewis. Now, this one woke me back up. This is where I was struggling. I was like, whoa, ate too much sugar just to try and stay awake. But these two were just like pounding each other out again. I think I remember everything about this one. That's why I've not written it down. So they're just peppering. Waldo clearly looks like he's faster and more technical with his hands. Derek just looking for haymakers. Derek looked way more out of shape than what I've seen in the last fight. And he definitely enjoyed Christmas. And he definitely thought, fuck this, I'm just going to go in as a big heavy bag. As soon as you come near me, Waldo, let's see who can fucking knock out who. And that's how it went. And eventually, I believe, how did this one go? I'm pretty sure he finished him. Yes, he did finish him because I had a bet that it would be under 1.5 rounds. And it was over 1.5 rounds by like 20 seconds or something. And I thought, oh, lovely. Great. Absolute great. But yeah, Derek Lewis, man, just looked too out of shape. Waldo Acosta was just slick. Moving out. I'm moving out. Back in. Pop, 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 pop. And just laid a beat down. Was to be expected. The thing that I didn't like and made me think that Derek Lewis was definitely losing was in the press conference just before the fight was happening. They asked him if the win meant that he'd get on the White House card. And he said, shit, I'll be on the White House card, win or lose. And I just thought, mentioning that you could lose like this means you have half accepted in your mind. If he'd have replied like something like, 1, I'm definitely going to win. And 2, I'm definitely going to win so that my win gets me on the fight, on the White House card. Instead, he's like, even if I lose, I'm on the card. Sus choice of words. Did not like that. And yeah, he just got beat up. Straight hands. Just peppered up until it broke him. And that's pretty much what happened. We have a new big black beast in town. His name is Waldo Cortez Acosta. Let's see who he versus next. Who can they put him against next? It's getting close at that top now. See if he ends up fighting Cyril Gane. See what happens with Tom Aspinall. Now, the next fight. Sean O'Malley and Song Yadong. This is where the ladies fight. The Magomedov fight and Gauthier fight. It was too much. And I'm just falling back. And I must have blinked. Now, here's the great thing. I blinked. And I seen that a fight was starting. It was Paddy's fight. I'd slept through the whole O'Malley Song Yadong fight, which must be a symbol because I watched the highlights and I seen on the internet everyone called it a boring fight. An obvious decision for O'Malley, but a boring fight. Now, I watched the highlights to rewatch that and the highlights look like Song Yadong win. That's all I'm saying. The highlights look like a Song Yadong win to me, but maybe they were very short, so a lot of time was going off. So maybe Sean just controlled the distance and stuff like that to win the fight. But I always said if this was going to go to decision, they'll give it Sean so that he can verse Jan at the White House, which is probably likely because Umar didn't get a finish. But if this is classed as boring, and I won't be rewatching the whole fight because I've watched the highlights and it's shit and everyone else told me it's a boring match, I'm not going to watch it. So you're losing out on star-studded power. I'm going to put money on that the next fight O'Malley has, he loses. Next fight Song Yadong has, he wins. And on to the final one. Oh my God. It's not good for us British people, you know. Leon Edwards, Paddy, Arnold Allen, my boy Jake Hadley. It's not looking good for us Brits. Like, Tom Aspinall. He's winning. He's at the top as a champ, and it's not looking good for us. Even he's had something where it's just made him look bad. I was way too biased on this. I was way too biased. I bought into the hype that everyone else was just like, yep, Justin Gage's time's over. It's Paddy's time. It's Paddy's time. I should have just thought, nope, he's too awkward. He's only been fighting once a year. You can't go from once a year to fighting the most dog lightweight there is. He's dumb, Justin Gaethje, but he's the dog. Because, Jesus Christ, Justin Gaethje had a great technique I'm going to talk about in a minute. But his thing was, I'm going to take a punch to give you a punch. And this fight was crazy. Just crazy. Insanity. Absolute insanity. There's no other way to describe the fight. Absolute amazing watch. Incredible to watch. Absolute outrageous. And I'm trying to think which round. There was one round where Paddy took off. I think it was the third round. And he started picking up on his jabs and stuff like this. That's it. Technique. So Justin Gaethje, you'll remember in my prediction fights, I was talking about them backing up to the cage and Paddy using his overhooks to the cage. Now, he did try and use his overhooks. Justin Gaethje must have been perfect for this. He had a slight lean, yeah? So he's leaning forward into Paddy, face forward, but keeping it just around this area. So there's not really triangles or guillotines and stuff available. And he's stiffening his elbows in and holding them down so that they can't be overhooked and jacked. Each time he went to overhook his arm, it's just sliding off the forearms because he's so tucked down like this. He's tucked into it. He's tucked. Leaning forward just a bit. Elbows tucked down. They just could not be overhooked by Paddy. And I watched that throughout the fight and I was like, he's fought exactly as I was thinking. He's brought in the perfect defence to have no overhooks at the cage. And that just dismissed all of Paddy's opportunities that I thought would come to whip Justin to the ground, to take his back somehow. No, Justin tucked elbows, leaned body. It's almost like a Mike Tyson, for the punching and that. That's how he's just tucked in and leaned. And this was his base. Incredible. Anyone with good overhooks, that's exactly what you should do, because they will be hunting overhooks and it will just always keep sliding off at the elbow and the forearms, and they'll keep going to get stuff and your arms are just tucked tight, and as soon as you're ready, you can just start ripping in haymakers, as Justin Gaethje was. Now, Paddy had a chance where he was taking the round back, but I think that was just Justin Gaethje crashing out before he gets his second wind. Now that the whole fight's finished. In the moment, I thought, oh my God, Paddy's turning the tide. He's going to batter him. But he just had one round where Justin must have got tired. Peppered him up with some shots. Could not come back out and do that in the fourth and fifth. Justin just put way heavier hands on him. How he didn't get knocked out, Paddy, is outrageous. It's beyond me. He weren't leaning with the them shots were just hitting clean. Getting his jaw spun off and still staying standing. Crazy. Now, Justin Gaethje took a fair few hits that I thought, they'd knock someone else out. But he just took them as well. But he doesn't even look like he's beat up. I think the speaking was Paddy had to go hospital, but Justin Gaethje didn't. I think they offered to take him hospital. He went, I'm not bothered. I'm all right. I'm not beat up. But he's retard maxing. So Justin Gaethje could probably be missing. He's the type that looks like he could be missing a finger or a toe and be like, I'm okay, boss. I'm okay. Mad fight. Mad fight. And I did speak about in my predictions that I thought Paddy would lay up to the cage and throw a spinning elbow. Now, I felt like I watched him for minutes plan the spinning elbow and just throw it for the sake of it in the end. He just threw a spinning elbow for the sake of it in the end. And it was so badly timed, the first one. I think he just wanted to get it out of his head. Part of me thinks he was too forward thinking, Paddy was. He's planning out a game plan too much and he's not keeping up with the game plan. I think too much focus on what to do. Genuinely think if he'd have just gone without a plan, just made it fucking mental, and, you know, took a little bit more of a risk that might have cost him getting knocked out or submitted, then maybe he could have got his back. But personally, just excellent tank brick technique from Justin. Never really gave up his back. Solid defense from the overhook and the grappling strategy from Paddy. And also from Justin, either this is he doesn't know he's doing it, or this is elite level grappling, that his version of not involving himself to grapple with Paddy meant front headlock position and only holding front headlock sprawl, so that he doesn't stand up and give Paddy the option to kick out and take his back. He's like, I'll sit here and do nothing in front headlock sprawl and just stand up with you. It was the ultimate high level sprawl and brawl. Not like the old days, Chuck Liddell's just sprawl, stand up, start banging. This was high level, front headlock, just thinking, I can feel you. Because Paddy was doing the thing where people hold the arm that's tucked over the guillotine and they try to trap it to bring it out, to do kickouts. But if someone just holds the front headlock and sprawls, you're just sat there holding yourself in that position. Now, I understand that he was waiting for Justin to rush and make silly moves, because if I was his coach, I would have said, you got to believe that Justin Gaethje is going to rush and do a stupid move, and he didn't. So he just sat on these sit-outs, and his grappling looked awful. It made Paddy's grappling look awful, but really I think it might have been perfect coaching and perfect wrestling from Justin Gaethje, because someone's just told him, front headlock. The only thing you need to do is hold the front headlock or a cradle. Never let him sit out. Don't try and take his back. Don't try and side control. Don't try and sit in guard and beat him down. Don't try and be on top and beat him down, because he'll reverse it. Just front headlock and stand and bang. And it won Justin Gaethje the fight. Justin Gaethje gets Ilya. Justin Gaethje's got a nice future ahead of him now. That'll be the White House card, him and Ilya. And if not, he'll be happy to verse Holloway or Charles, because he wants them fights back, both of them. And he'd still fight Arman anyway, even if they give Arman for the title. So, I think he's going to get some cheddar. They both got 100 grand extra. So, you know what I mean? Gaethje must be getting over $1 million now for his bonuses. But he's going to be able to get some good money for his next fight as the champion. I know us Brits, we're pissed off. England looks like it sucks at MMA again for a little while. Let's see what happens. We need some new talent getting up in there. It's crazy. It's just crazy. But one of the best fights ever. If you enjoy watching UFC, this was a great card. If you're looking for skill acquisition from fighters, great card. Justin, you can watch him to see how you can negate people from overhooks in grappling. Absolute incredible watch. That is way more technical than you realise. That he's done such a good job to not take part in any grappling in that fight. Really enjoyed that one. Umar, watch that fight if you want to be good at kicking and grappling. You need to be watching. You need to be studying. That's an excellent fight for studying. So I'm going with Paddy and Justin. Excellent fight for studying. Umar and Nurmagomedov and Davison Figueiredo. Excellent fight for studying kicks and grappling. Charles Johnson, Alex Perez. Excellent fight for realising how to attack someone who wants to run off around the cage, but you cut them off and still keep landing a beatdown on them and letting them escape and letting them run themselves tired. Good to watch, to learn from Alex Perez in that fight. Excellent fight. Josh Hockett versus Denzel Freeman. Excellent fight to prove how to beat someone up in turtle position. This is quality. Considering Denzel Freeman was a Greco-Roman wrestler, very highly rated, he tried to stand up sometimes. And the double underhooks from turtle position, holding him down, pinning his hips, just turning his hips and folding. Excellent watch to watch Josh Hockett versus Denzel Freeman to learn how to beat people up from turtle position, to make people quit from turtle position as a wrestler. Yeah? Because that's what you'll do. You're wrestling, you've got to keep people pinned down. Turtle can be a position where someone can, if you're smart and you're good in turtle, you can sit in turtle and take a beat down, a little beat down, and be like, right, this person's gave too much energy, too much away now. Time for me to sit up and batter them. Yeah? You see this happen in a lot of fights where the top guy's just not good enough beating the person up from top. All the bottom guy did is have a break, comes back up and batters them. What needs to happen is someone sits in turtle. You need to be so good at attacking turtle that they are exhausted for choosing turtle. And then when they try to stand up because they're exhausted from using turtle, they are so tired at standing up. Their balance is all off. Their arms and legs can't hold them up. Bang, they fall down. You're beating them up even more. They're thinking, I need to stand up. This is where I'll get my energy and my space and stuff like that. And you start pressuring them up, dragging them back down to turtle. And they're suffering in turtle. This is how it should be. It shouldn't be, oh, I let them in being turtle and I'll pick apart and I'll wait until this person goes to explode out of turtle. No, you put your beat down on them. You put your weight on them. You fucking crink up their neck. You fold up their ankles. Put pressure in their hips and knees. So they're the fights to be watching. Hockett, Perez, Umar, Paddy. You want to study fights? Great studies all there. We have a fights next weekend. The next weekend's fights, the Australian card with Alex Volkanovski and Diego Lopez next weekend. This was just, oh yeah, Jesus, I've done an hour for the results. That's the results sorted. I'll do the next one for next weekend. Probably aim for like Tuesday, Thursdays to put out the predictions and the bets. And then Sundays, Mondays, Tuesdays for the results. Next time we flip that pound, boys. We didn't flip £1 to £2 this week. So next week we're investing. We're investing our own £2 and we're flipping it to £4. We are so up, boys. We didn't get it this weekend unless you left out Charles Johnson. Which if you were smart and you went, I ain't picking him. I'm picking Ateba Gutierrez, Umar Nurmagomedov and Natalia Silva. They're the only locks, bro. They're the only locks. Then you're already £1 to £2. But next week we're financing. So get some work in this weekend. Get some work in this week. Get your £2 ready. £2 and we're flipping it to £4. In 11 weeks, that's all going to be 50 grand, bro. We're going to flip it so many times. We're financing it ourselves. We are so up, boys. £1 to $500,000. Let's get that loss out this first week and go on a crazy streak. 1 loss at the beginning, 19 wins. We're going to be like an all-time great. We are going to lose our first fight professionally and we are going to win 19 and get to $500,000. Peace out.